All right, session 2 of Decay or Defiance has ended, but we're here in the after party. So, what are your general thoughts on
My thoughts
on the session
are
as
that
a whole? Not just the ending yet.
well,
Not
we're
the
gonna
ending
go
yet.
about go about the ending first. My thoughts are that the
Yeah.
fucking DM's a dick, is what it is. The the reason why I'm so angry about it is because the group that I know we're about to roll up on was part of a one shot that we filmed that we never got to use because the audio got messed up on it, and it was a really cool group, but we can't post it because it doesn't capture any of my audio, which sucks, which is why I was like, oh, bet we're gonna go see these guys, dope, dope, dope. But then no, got shot down. So that's lovely. But
You'll love to see it.
no, as a whole, very excited. I like the whole supply crate thing, because it definitely made me detour from what the original plan was, which was good. Kind of threw a wrench in things, and it turned out pretty good. Worked out for us. We got a bunch of medicine, got a bunch of canned food, like just non-perishables from the warehouse. But the highlight of the episode was that fucking friendly zombie that we came across on the goddamn plane. A lot of people don't know where that motherfucker's from. As a matter of fact, I don't think anybody's gonna know where he's from.
No, no one except us.
Should we tell him or no?
If you want, it's the after party. You can talk about whatever you want.
Sure. So
You're not speaking in character, so you can talk about whatever.
no, yeah. So that zombie
Not
that
going to just make this page the
and,
characters who were relevant to the episode.
no, yeah, the zombie that ended up helping us out in the fight was kind of a legacy character, if you will, because I know in the last one we talked about how me and Austin, whenever we were younger, we kind of did sort of a just a very loose version of this without like rolling or anything, just kind of like a what would you do, and he ended up being the best character to ever come of it. That is Frank the Friendly Zombie, and he has been an ongoing joke for probably what 10 years for our friendship about
Yeah,
him.
yeah, just about.
His whole thing is that he kind of does whatever he wants. He's holding the Mountain Dew in his hand, which is why if you had said like, "Oh, you see, he's in that crate."
It is non-sponsored green soda.
Oh yeah, okay. If you had said, "Oh, he's you hear like a rumbling in the crate, and all of a sudden you hear like a fizzy pop, and you open it up and you see someone eating a bag of Doritos and drinking on a non-sponsored green bottled liquid, seemingly from the mountains.
You
With
specified that
condensation
time
on the can.
non-sponsored green soda, but you still say Doritos. At that point, just say Mountain Dew.
So, yeah. But yeah, and because the whole joke is that the way he kind of came across in our like just bootleg version of this was I was just scavenging, and next thing you know, there was this zombie just eating a non-disclosed blue bag of chips with a.
Well, no, during that it was
triangular-
Doritos for sure.
Yes, okay. So
That was definitely Doritos back in the day.
So he was eating a bag of Doritos and then just drinking a Mountain Dew, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, just a random zombie. Perhaps the Doritos and Mountain Dew affects their undead brain somehow.
No, exactly. So, and ever since then, he would just, I'd be in a pinch, everything would seem like I was about to die. The next thing you know, he just rolls through and just mauls the shit out of whatever was about to kill me, and then goes back on his way.
Oh, did you say roll? Go ahead
Totally
and give me a
fine.
roll for if he ever shows back up.
If you don't show him back up again, I will actually be fucking livid. I will protect him more than I protect anyone in the fucking group. He will not die. Well, again, he won't die. He won't die again. He's already dead. But
Yeah. So
he's
so
tier-
who
top tier
knows?
character.
Who knows what his origin could be? Who knows? Could be anything.
We don't even know.
We do not currently know. No, we do not. I'm talking about for the new one.
Oh, for the new.
Because
Oh.
we do know what his origin was in the OG.
That's true. We do, huh?
Yeah, that was discovered. But for the story, we have no clue,
I'm sure they're itching
and
to
it
know.
will not be the same. Will not.
No. But I enjoyed the episode. I especially like the whole plane crashing thing because I was like, oh shit. Not
Yeah,
just
so
because
I've actually had that
game was
prepared
great.
by the time of the first episode.
Okay.
But since it ended at arriving at the park, there was just no time to squeeze it in because we were already over time by like well over an hour.
No, yeah. This one went how long? Like probably 2, 3?
It was just over 2 hours.
Just over 2. Okay, a little bit
There,
shorter,
there
but
was actually another thing planned, but these are going to be roughly 2 hour sessions.
okay.
It's gonna be. The goal is to keep it under 2.5. So
Okay.
usually once we hit 2, I'm gonna start trying to wrap it up. And if we hit like an hour and a half and there's still a good amount left, then we'll kind of start rushing through or something may have to cut. There was an alternative scenario. Well, not alternative
If
scenario.
I went into the bake shop,
There was an addition. No, actually, there was not one prepared for that. That would have led to some interesting stuff that did not happen. But no, that would not have turned into a fight unless you turned it into one. That could have potentially just been a passive encounter. But there was an additional encounter in the city that we did not get to, just due to, well, a lot of things. The story didn't really... One is the story didn't really... The story just never really pushed to it. It's more of like I had another thing prepared, it just never really became relevant, so it didn't happen.
am I able to know what it is, or is there a chance that we go back to it?
There is a chance something could still happen with it. It just may be slightly altered now that more time will have passed since then.
Okay, then I don't want to know about it. No, but
yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was expecting, obviously with the plan, wasn't expecting that. I was expecting us to stumble upon like a different group of people that was just like completely trying to set up camp in the forest, and I was like, oh shit, might have to go squabble with some bugs. But nope, didn't have to.
There was the potential for that. I did have a few scenarios set up in the woods that could have potentially happened, but I independently rolled, and that was the one that we got, was that campsite scenario.
Oh.
The plane was going to happen regardless. But there were a couple other campsite maps that were made, and there are a couple other that could have happened, but just didn't.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yeah. I enjoyed it. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you saying that there was stuff that I could have had encountered is obviously interesting, because I know a lot of it's gonna potentially tie back in. Probably the scenarios, like you said, there were other scenarios that you rolled the dice for. Those could probably still happen in the forest, so I'm not gonna ask about those. But
well, I mean, it's just more general campsite stuff, different scenarios at the campsites of what could have happened. So you could probably put together like, oh yeah, there'd be a human encounter there. Oh, there'd be a different zombie encounter, because there were, I believe there's 3 campsite maps, battle maps that are made right now, that were ready to go. But that is the one we ended up on. And I did open it up with an encounter. It was just a nice, simple encounter. There were only 2. It was only you and Tommy, since I figured that would be a pairing that would make sense to be going out to go search the traps and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I figured, like, yeah, why not open it up with like just a nice short encounter?
No, yeah, 100%. That'd be cool. It was cool. I enjoyed it. I think that'd also be a cool thing to add, where it can be like almost like a character building thing for each of them, or like almost like a side quest, if you will, where it's like a relationship quest, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I figured that you would have
kind of like
tried.
Bolsters.
I figured you would have tried interacting with Tommy a bit more, just that we could kind of like sort of build on the dynamic between you two a bit more.
The main reason why I didn't is because his whole story is that he's my neighbor. I've known him for a while now. We go camping and stuff like that.
Right.
So
I'm not asking about like, oh yeah, I need to get to know him. I thought there would have just been like a bit of like banter to sort of like flesh out your guys' like relationship. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, the situation that he put in, I was viewing it as more dire. It's like, oh, we need fucking food. We don't have that. So I figured we wouldn't be joking around too much. We're trying to figure out how to get fucking food.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about the Ranger Shack?
I'm liking it. It's getting crowded, obviously, now that we just added Braxton and soon to be Maya, which puts our crew at what, 10?
Yeah, that'll be 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people, including myself. I know I said on the last one I don't want to add any more people, but I feel like 10 is a solid number now. Unless I gotta add these next 3 people that we come across, then 13's a great number. But
Or if you have to add Frank, then 14's a great number.
14's a great number, yeah. But no,
I mean, if you
think
move
that-
into a bigger base, 14 would probably be, you know.
no,
that
yeah, 100%.
14 could work pretty well. For the Ranger Shack, 14's a bit much, unless you guys move some extra stuff out there, like
Well, we have the Ranger Shack and we have the camper.
here, let me flip us back to the Ranger Shack map.
You don't have one done up of inside the Ranger Shack, do you?
Not currently, no.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like, I just assume, like, the way this is set up, if you're looking at it, is that the shack is Joe's, Alexa typically stays in the Jeep, you and Iggy typically stay in the camper, and then everyone else just kind of, like, huddles up in, like, various areas in the shack.
I was gonna say more people could probably go in the camper. It's a whole camper. Look at the size of that fucking thing. You'd probably fit 4 people in there, dude.
Yeah, but I'm saying the shack is big enough to accommodate that. Well, obviously Braxton's not there yet, though, because obviously Julia and
Tommy got their own areas.
yeah, they have their own sort of area in the shack.
So does Justine. She has
And then
her
Justine
own
has kind of
area.
set up like a little corner area for all like basically like a small medical area. That's set up, and then typically Greg just crashes on the couch that's in the sort of lounge room, because it's basically like you enter into sort of a lounge type area where you can actually like contact the Rangers. Off to the right, there's the actual Rangers area. There's a small bathroom, and then there's a small medical area in the back left.
Yeah.
So that's how I imagine the setup is. It's probably big enough that Braxton could also probably stay in there. With Maya, the shack would probably be a bit cramped, so someone will probably move out to the camper.
No, yeah.
Or potentially
but
somewhere
the one
else.
thing I'm doing is Joe gets that shack to him fucking self.
Yeah, and there is still the other car that someone could potentially stay in if they wanted. But yeah, the camper could probably hold like probably one more person comfortably, and probably 2 more and be probably cramped.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, I imagine since you and him are a bit closer, you could probably bring, like, Greg into the camper, and then Braxton could move into the shack.
Yeah, if we wanted to do that. That, or probably what we'd end up doing is we'd probably bring Greg in, and then probably let Maya go in the shack. And either have Braxton settle in the other car. Because I feel like the girl should probably have the shack. As the gentleman I am. But we'll figure that shit out later.
It hasn't arrived, but just so we can get a reference. So you said Braxton to the camper?
Braxton to the car.
Braxton to the car. And then...
Yeah.
Then that's just how it's set up?
Yeah, I mean, if we needed to move... Tommy's obviously got his own place in there, but if we had to...
Yeah, he has like a small... Yeah, him and Julie have like a small office space.
Yeah. If anything, I mean...
Because it's basically like, whenever you go in, there's like the right's like the first, like the front right corner. It's like a small bathroom, then Tommy's office, then Julia's office.
No, yeah. That, but also there's a lot of lumber obviously all over the place. We could look at building another like shack or a hut up.
If any of you know how to do that.
Yeah, well, Joe was a man of many talents.
Joe is a man of many talents. But getting him to use those talents for...
Oh,
for
and
that.
from the camper, we had all this camp. Remember, we had tents that we could make, that we could use.
You do have tents that you could set up. Yes, that is true. You have
Well,
2
if anything,
tents.
we'd set up a few tents.
You have 2 tents
If anything-
that Tommy brought, and then you do have your tent that is in the camper.
Yeah, so we got 3 tents total.
So yeah, you could set up some tents.
Yeah, what we would do then is just set up. Honestly, we'd probably set up a couple tents, so that way Braxton doesn't have to stay in the car if he doesn't want to, and then either Greg or someone like that can stay there, or whatever we want to do. figure that part out.
Also, I would say that Braxton would probably take the car just because it'd be a bit safer staying in a car as opposed to a tent.
Yeah.
The tent might be a bit more comfortable depending on where he lays it out, but I mean, he could just recline the seat and just kind of be there. And then if something,
Yeah.
like if a zombie does sneak up in the middle of the night and like no one manages to catch it before it, like whoever's on
He's protected
watch,
in a car.
He's protected in a car. Or same thing, like if a person were to sneak up, he's protected in a car, so they'd have to break into the car first, which would wake him up. So we'll say for simplicity, he prefers to stay in the car.
I think what I'm going to want to do
really
on the next one, whenever everybody gets back, if I'm able to get back there, is probably set up some fortifications. Because it looks like the only points of entry for the most part is going to be through these right here, which have the river. It's like 3 main.
Yeah, so here at the bottom, that goes out to like the actual like main road. Basically, it's like a long dirt path that goes out to the main road. And then these are sort of walking trails. Yeah, and then this is sort of a small trail that goes off to just to like a little like maintenance area.
No, yeah, I would just fortify kind of the entrances just so it's not so easy to go through. But
yeah, and so there's no change on the map, but we'll say it's assumed that there is sort of like light barricades and that kind of stuff up. Like you may have like put like some wood up to like sort of block off the area, so that way like a vehicle couldn't pass through, but someone could still walk up and like either walk around or like just climb over it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But yeah, no, I'm happy with how it's gone so far. Only I'm trying to think, was there anything in there that I did that you were not expecting me to do?
I didn't expect you to back off from the deli.
No, you expecting me to go in?
Yeah, I expected you to at least get a closer look and sort of investigate it more, instead of just completely saying it's not worth it.
Well, from my point of view, is I got all these people in the car. We haven't secured any supplies yet of something that we can bring back. I'm not going to go take the unnecessary risk, especially whenever I see a group of, like you said, 5 people in there, which maxes the size of our group, and they're armed. It's not in their hand, but you see weapons there.
Yeah.
And Braxton said that they've been there for a while and they tend to frequent it.
Yeah, so like I said, it was a sort of standalone diner that was sort of like, it basically where the city's meeting like the actual like wood line. So it's at like the very edge of the city. It's loosely part of the city.
Yeah, which is why I was like, I'm not gonna take that unnecessary risk. We haven't secured anything to bring back, so no.
I'm not gonna say what would have happened just in case it does come up later, but there was something larger going on that could have potentially gone on.
No, yeah. For me, it wasn't anything that I was necessarily concerned with, because the main reason I'm going in there is because we just got a new crew member, which means we need more food, and that was the main objective. And just showing that Braxton was trustworthy, which he passed with flying colors, and then, in doing that, Maya showed that she's trustworthy as well. So I just wanted to make sure I secured everything. That's why I didn't go in there, because if I showed up empty-handed and without the same amount of people that I went in there with, that would be a problem. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't give you the description for Maya, since she joined right at the end. Yeah, so a survivor who helped the group out when they were attacked searching a supply drop in Prenton. She's a natural-born survivor and very protective of her group. Features machete, throwing knives, and light body armor.
Sweet. No, so, I'm very happy with how this episode turned out.
So, I am curious, why that group? So you, Tommy, Greg, and Braxton. Obviously, you and Braxton make sense. I can get Tommy because he was traveling with you at the beginning.
Put all their logos back on the camp, and I'll explain what my thought process.
Okay.
Just so I can
back to the
point out
camp.
People. So.
I'm surprised you didn't bring Frank.
He wasn't there. I would have. Justine. I want her to be in the Ranger Shack as much as possible because I know she's probably doing a lot of research trying to figure out what the hell is like going on.
Okay,
I
so
don't wanna
you're
put
hoping that
her
she
in
makes some
harm's
kind of
way.
breakthrough.
Some kind of breakthrough, or at the very least, she's kind of our doctor.
Right, so you
So
don't
I
want to
don't
risk the
want to
doctor.
needlessly put her in harm's way. She will eventually come out with me on a couple of runs, just so that way we can get like medical supplies and stuff like that. She can kind of discern what's good and what's not.
Okay.
I didn't take Julia because I'm taking Tommy. I wanted somebody to still be here that was
Right, lead one of the
knowledgeable
Rangers.
part. I didn't take Alexa because the way I'm looking at it, since Justine and Julia are here, although both capable, Alexa's definitely more of a fighter.
Yeah.
And then Joe, he's kind of the powerhouse if anything needed to fucking happen. If like
Yeah, like the
he
wild
would've
card.
yeah, the way he would have been able to fucking just solve all the problems. And so I kind of let Joe do his thing. Plus, he said he was living the life and he was comfortable, so I'm not going to disturb him. Iggy
Fair
Steak is
enough.
a fucking liability. I'm only bringing Iggy to fucking peaceful accords that
You're like,
I
if he
know.
wasn't one of my close friends,
Yeah, if he wasn't one of my close friends, I'd
he would have
left
been
him.
out of here.
Yes, he would have been fucking gone.
Yeah. So why
I brought
Greg?
Why did I bring Greg? Because Greg, despite my, being apprehensive of him a little bit,
Hey, you were very hesitant in the first session.
I know that he's been able to at least hold his own. And he's definitely come around to the group a lot more.
Okay.
Especially whenever he came up to me and was like, hey, because it was initially his idea too to go, which was part of the reason why I factored that in to bring him. Is he goes, hey, well, he came from the city. He's probably got an idea of what can be looted and what can't be. Why don't we go like that route? So I was like, that's a great idea. Let me bring him with me. So I brought him, obviously brought myself, and then I obviously brought Tommy because Tommy's able to more than hold his own, and he's got the rifle. So that's obviously very helpful. And then obviously we brought Rats.
Okay. I'm going to flip us back to the relevant character page. So I don't even think I need to ask your thoughts on Frank.
Nah.
So how do you feel you did this session?
Good. Very good, I would say.
Yeah, you think you made some good calls?
I mean,
Made the right moves?
I literally never got hit.
That is true.
Although, I mean, only 2 people took damage.
That is true.
We
You
did-
did play situations very well. I
We
may have
got
to
out
increase
of
the
there.
difficulty on you.
No. We got out of there with a
He said no.
We got out of there with a shit ton of food. We filled up the trunk, and then had a couple bags full. You said, or got another backpack full and got the rest of it. And then we got a shit ton of medicine.
Yeah.
And then we proved Braxton can be trusted. And then we added Maya to the group, who seems very capable.
And we haven't got to them quite yet, but how do you feel about how Tommy did this session?
Tommy was a fucking MVP. What do you mean?
I mean, he was with you for the prologue of the session, and he stuck with you the whole way through.
So Tommy would be second in command if he wasn't so uncharismatic.
if he wasn't a Boy Scout growing
if
up.
he wasn't so uncharismatic, he's the one that I would trust second in command. He's got the survival.
So who would you
skills,
say
he's
is
got all that.
currently your right hand, the second in command?
It's definitely Tommy.
Okay. You're saying it like he's not. Is why I ask.
No. He is. He's definitely my second in command. After that, I'd probably go with. I would throw Joe up there, but Joe's not one that wants to be in command, so Joe can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, like we said, wild card.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say unreliable, but
I would probably say Greg is the one that I would have third.
Really, that's crazy to hear because you were so hesitant about him in the first session.
I was.
He must have really grown on you, which we'll get to that. He's up next.
Yeah, he's grown up because one, he's willing to go out and help the team, help the group.
Yeah. But back to Tommy. Yeah, so he performed fairly well. He did have a bit of a rocky bit during the supply run with the supply crate.
Yeah, but other than that, he's good.
But yeah, pretty level-headed.
Happy with how he did.
Yeah.
Very happy with how he performed.
But you touched on him for a second, so yeah, our man Greg must have really sort of changed your opinion on him since meeting him.
Well, because at first I had no real information about him. I still don't know a whole lot about his
Yeah, you still don't know
backstory,
anything really.
But a big thing that kind of took into account my thoughts on a lot of the characters, we're on day 15 now. If somebody were to backstab somebody or take shit and run,
Would have happened by now.
it probably would have happened early on. They wouldn't have just settled in and done all this
Yeah, and
stuff.
probably would have happened before you guys got low on food.
Exactly. So that's why I was like, okay, cool. We're in a good spot there. We didn't have anything like that happen. And again, with his idea to go and be like, well, with Braxton, it was a really good idea. I obviously didn't think of it. So then him doing that, I was like, okay, cool. He can be trusted. And then going in there and performing the way he did, he performed great. I mean, granted, he had the swing and the miss, and he had to take a couple hits, but he did great as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, our man Greg, I mean, he was eating some punishment.
No, yeah.
And he was just taking it. So,
yeah, he did great.
Yeah, so those are our returning characters. So, Tommy is still relatively the same. Greg, your opinion on him has changed quite a bit.
No,
your impression, I guess, is the right word.
Yeah.
So, I don't think I really need to ask, but Frank,
Best character in the whole series.
obviously, unbiased opinion.
Yeah, he's the best character. Him and Joe are the best characters in the whole series.
They are the legacy characters.
Yeah.
So no bias there, right?
None. They're just pound for pound the best.
So when are you hoping to see him again?
As soon as fucking possible is when I want to see him again. Shit.
Okay. When do you think you'll see him again?
Oh fuck, probably like month 3 or some shit like that. And I don't know. Probably like the 3rd time skip we have.
So there was actually a potential scenario where he would have turned back up towards the end of this session.
I had to go in the fucking diner though.
No, actually, it was the scenario that didn't happen at all and wasn't even referenced, which I will not tell you anything about. But there was basically the general idea is that you would have been stuck somewhere, and then you would have like gone for a rest, and by the time you would have woken up, you'd see just him outside with a bunch of zombie corpses. And so you'd because there wouldn't really be a way out, you'd go to weather the storm and just wait it out. You wouldn't have to wait it out.
Because he would have just fuck. I wish
he would have solved
Damn
the
it.
problem for you while you were getting a short rest in.
Fuck.
But that scenario did not happen. That scenario may still get used. It'll just be different now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay telling you that
Anytime
part because that part may
I
not
can
be
see
relevant
that.
anymore.
Anytime I can run with Frank. It's a good time.
Okay, let me ask you this. What do you think your odds are of him being a permanent member?
Oh my god. I mean,
Or at the very least, very consistent.
probably next to 0 if I'm going based off of like how our little shindig was back in the day. It didn't matter what you did. He's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants. There was a time where he was with the group for a little bit, but he does as he pleases more than fucking Joe does. He's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants.
Would you like his stats?
Fucking yeah, I
You
would.
don't need to mark them down because he's not a member and he may not even turn up during session 3. But in case you're wondering what his stats are, he has
Gotta be 20s.
He has a 24 in strength,
Holy fucking shit.
a 22 in dex,
Okay.
a 12 in constitution, a 1 in intelligence, and a 1 in wisdom, and a 1 in charisma.
Nah, that's a bullshit stat. That charisma's gotta be a 22. How can you not like him?
So
He's so charismatic. Look at the jacket.
yeah.
It's a good jacket.
So his stats are subject to change, but generally right now that's what it is. I was actually thinking about potentially bumping his wisdom up a bit. Keeping intelligence and charisma at 1, but maybe intelligence going up to like a 6 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean he is smarter than the average zombie.
So Yeah,
No, yeah. No, he's the man.
but
If there's a way, if I have to
if I have to
scour the
sacrifice
earth,
everyone in this camp,
if I have to scour the planet for a shit ton of undisclosed bags of chips with a
Sean was then
triangular
forced to
logo.
choose between having Frank join permanently and Joe leaving.
Yeah, cool. See ya, Joe. See ya. You're cool and all, but you're not fucking Frank.
Okay, but moving on. Braxton.
Yeah, he proved his. He showed his. He's good. He showed that he's worth his weight in fucking gold. So
Yeah. How did his opinion? How did his like impression change from when you met him to basically at the end when the final encounter finished?
So whenever I was obviously a little bit apprehensive because you just see, it's not entirely like, it's not super strange that somebody would show up to the ranger shack. 'Cause if they've ever been to the national forest, they probably know where it's at.
Right.
But so that wasn't necessarily what alarmed me. It was just, oh, I was with people, but not anymore. It's like, okay, well, is it a situation where he fucking just offed them? Is it a situation where he got kicked out? What was it? Like,
Yeah.
what was the reason? And then, which is why I asked, I was like, well, why is it just you now? And then he was like, oh, no, it's not. So that's why I said, okay, well, you can join, but you got to be able to fucking prove yourself because we're not just going to bring you in here and just have you fucking slum around. Like, you can't do that.
Right.
Especially not having proved yourself, like how Joe proved himself. That's why he can do what he wants. So,
I mean, what did Joe do?
whenever we were pulling up with Justine, he fucking blew the fucking zombie's head off with the fucking shotgun.
Yeah, I mean, he killed like 1 or 2 zombies.
But it was clutch.
I mean, I guess Justine killed 3. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we were doing Justine the favor. She was obligated to kill him. Joe was just there, and he said, "Fuck it."
It is true.
So,
Although
that's
it's
what
Joe, though, he probably only did it just because he just felt like it in the moment.
No, exactly.
But
Don't matter. It was good enough for me.
But yeah, so Braxton, you think he's earned his worth?
100%. I mean, especially whenever
It seemed like you and him had some good
Tommy-
synergy.
No, especially whenever Tommy went and kind of ate shit, and he
Yeah.
caught him. So that was good. That one, I was like, all right, cool. If he didn't give a shit,
Oh, that
about
was
us,
Greg that ate shit.
It was okay. Greg that ate
Yeah.
shit. He could have just
That was
let him
Greg
eat
and
shit
Braxton
and
caught him.
come to attract the zombies, and then just got the hell out of Dodge if he wanted to. After he got his meal and a night's rest, but he didn't. And so, especially the reason why I paired him with me on the right is because if he turned on us, I was confident I'd have been able to take him out because I had 2 guns and he
Right.
didn't have anything. Which is why I didn't give him the gun until we got behind the gunman. And then he proved that he could use it fine and didn't kill us.
Yeah,
So
fair
he's
enough.
good.
All right, and what's
Mm-hmm.
your sort of impression on our new character Maya? You haven't really got to know her yet.
No, not at all. But sympathetic towards her because the people that we killed, she said, killed off her group. So she was probably chasing them once to get her get back.
Yeah.
But helped out whenever she didn't need to, and she wanted to see what the crate was, and she noticed that we already took it. Didn't try to kill us. Also probably because we had numbers advantage and actual guns.
Right.
But didn't seem to have any sort of hostility towards us. Took care of the zombies with us, and then was willing to tag along. So as of right now, she's a-okay in my book.
All right. Yeah. Was there anything else that was sort of stand out in the episode for you? Whether good or bad?
The only thing that I might have liked to have been fleshed out more, but was not necessarily disappointed that it didn't because of what happened after. The warehouse would have been cool to
Yeah.
have a little bit more in there, but obviously I'm happy with how we didn't stay there long because the supply drop happened.
Yeah,
So
which is why I cut it short. Because it was just supposed to be like a short like scavenging thing, not really anything too
Yeah.
special about it, which is why it didn't for the battle it didn't even get a map.
Yeah.
It was just supposed to be like a quick sort of like scavenge like in and out sort of thing. Because basically all of it was leading up, or like you would just kind of scavenge Braxton's areas until noticing the supply crate. And then
Yeah.
if you chose to ignore the supply crate, you could have gone back to search perhaps a little bit more, like maybe in the trucks, or potentially go to a third area that Braxton had prepared to point out.
No, but our next supply run will be back to the city. We'll probably head back to that warehouse to look in those trucks.
Right.
If they haven't already been picked clean.
Alright, well, it kind of just depends. We'll see.
No, yeah. But, no, as of right now, very happy with how everything's turning out.
Yeah, because there are some roles that happen off screen that you don't get to see and the audience doesn't get to see. That is happening to determine certain effects, such as which camping scenario happens. One of the roles was whether or not by the time you got to the camper, if it had been stolen, looted, or untouched, and it turned out to be untouched.
Oh, really? Camp? Dang, okay.
So there are more things happening in the background than you probably realize.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there's quite a bit going into this that
Okay.
you are not seeing.
Have there ever been situations where like, oh, I really hope he fucks up here so I can just like rip him a new one or anything like that? Or no?
Yes, actually, every turn.
Well, yeah, but like,
was there
is
any
a good
specific
one?
ones I hope you fucked up?
Yeah, we were like, oh, I hope he fucks this up. Like, where you had something like a punishment in mind,
I
but I
will.
rolled good, so it didn't come across. It didn't happen.
No, there weren't any like that. I will say one of my favorite moments from the session was whenever you told the guy to fuck off and run away, and he said okay, and then Greg went in for an attack and got a nat 1.
Yeah.
That fucking killed me. But hands down, my favorite part of the episode. That shit was amazing. Like, like stuff like that is what makes me love the dice rolls.
No,
It's
yeah.
like you perfectly got off like yeah, just fuck off, and then you're like you staying with the character motivations and how they would react. He goes in for an attack and just completely fucks the whole thing up and gets the guy to stay back into a fight for you to then tell the guy, no, I already told you to fuck off, just leave. And him to be like, okay. But then by that point, Braxton moved up, so there was no way to get past you guys.
Like,
so he had to punch
great.
his way forward and go through a zombie, and that
And
actually
then
ended.
damn near fucking died.
Yeah, that almost played into your favor, really, because he ended up killing one of the zombies for you.
That's true.
So,
But no, yeah. It's I'm looking forward to the next episode because of the characters that I
yeah, I was gonna
am
say
anticipating we're gonna meet.
the ending, as we're getting ready to end the after party. Yeah, the session 2's ending.
You guys are in for a fucking treat for the next episode, is all I'm saying. It's gonna be good.
But
Just
what
off the group
if
chat,
you
it should
pull
be
up to the
really
cop
good.
car and it's not even them?
Well fuck, I can't use the information that I knew before, but
It's
we'll-
true.
we'll
Yeah,
cross
you have
that
to
bridge
try
when we
as hard as you
fucking
can
get
to not use information that you've gathered from the one shot.
there. No, yeah.
Unfortunately, the audio was messed up and we couldn't use.
Because we had a whole 3-hour one shot where basically the characters that are
It's
presumably
3.5 hours.
presumably in that squad car.
Presumably.
Presumably. We don't know. You said you don't know if they're there.
No,
If I
but
did, then...
it's a really solid group that they have there. So if it is them, it'll
But
be.
what
a
if
good dynamic.
John's dead?
I never said his name was John.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, they can know. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Then-
they can know. This is the after part. This isn't the actual session. We can talk about
Okay.
later.
No, cool. Yeah, because John was the character that I used as the one shot, and he's a really good fucking. He's fucking cool.
He's a badass.
He's got really good stat rolls because every character that I play as, I stat roll for it.
Yes.
I've miraculously
yeah.
gotten lucky for the characters that I've rolled.
So before we end the after party, if you would like to just give a brief sort of description of John, and I don't mean like stats. If you want to just kind of,
Do you want me to go over the
tease
character
it
log
a
that I
bit.
have for him?
if you want to just give like a slight tease about his character.
No, yeah. Let me pull up his sheet real quick.
Like I said, you don't need to like name off like stats or equipment or any of that kind of stuff, but just like generally like what in 10 words describe why he's him.
Okay, it's pretty obvious why he's him. So, John is a college-age man He is a pizza delivery driver, or what formerly a pizza delivery driver after everything has gone down. The I would say unfortunate, but he found a way to turn it around. The one shot that we did was called it was just no tip, because he had gone to deliver a pizza, and
it was a prank delivery.
It was a prank delivery, and presumably the guy that it was for was like, "No, fuck off! I don't want to deal with that. No, I'm not paying for it. Like, just get out of here." So, John, being the man that he is, he knew he couldn't show up back to the pizza parlor empty fucking handed. He goes and knocks on the next door neighbor's door and convinces them to buy the pizza and secures himself a tip. That alone is why John's dope. But he's also cracking Kayla, the girl in his group. W move right there by John. W move by John. W move by John. Good guy. But no, yeah.
Yeah,
that, and he's just able to bullshit his way into doing a lot of things, whether from
there were a lot of hijinks,
fooling the police, to anything that he's necessarily got to do. He just gets it done.
Yeah. So yeah. Last thing before ending this, there was a alternate ending to this, where
is it gonna get reused to where I shouldn't know?
No. Basically, it was just going to be you return back and sort of have like a sort of mini like celebration, I guess, for like finding all the supplies and that kind of stuff. Because now
that would be if I didn't go to the cop car,
and that would be how it ends. And then
session I was going to that cop car,
and then session 3 would open with the cop car pulling in. But I figured it would be better to end it on the cop car. Mainly because then you'd be like, fuck, why did it have to end it there? Because I like setting up the endings where it pisses you off because it's ending.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah, I really do. It's fun.
No, but I am very much looking forward to the pizza group. That's a solid group right there. And like I said, if they end up being able to join the group, 13 isn't a bad number.
But yeah, so next up, session 3. Any predictions?
I think that I'm gonna make a roll to fix their car, and they will. No, I'm gonna get it this time. But
okay, because you know damn well that John already tried like 4 fucking times to fix it.
Yeah, I didn't want to go.
You already know John failed every time.
First car that he drove to deliver the pizza once the outbreak happened.
Honestly, I am so
tried to start it 4 times. And failed.
I am so tempted to whenever John gets added to give him a debuff on mechanic rolls where he gets negative proficiency on mechanics.
You know what?
He sucks at repairing cars.
What would the one shots that we do, if they find a way to work themselves into the story,
yeah,
and you could give them buffs and debuffs based on how I played, I'm totally cool with that. That'd be fucking sick.
So perhaps I'll give him a buff to compensate for that.
No, yeah, just give him something.
So that way he's still balanced out and he's not
exactly.
Yeah,
that would be fucking.
But speaking of one shots, alongside session 3 upcoming, we also have a one-shot / mini, depending on how things go. That'll be a co-op between you and Mason. Any reveals or things you want to say on that?
I'm not going to reveal anything about kind of what was talked about that was planned, because you're the mastermind behind that, and I'm not going to steal your thunder.
I was talking more about like your character or anything like that. Or any like your general thoughts.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be interesting, kind of the dynamic that it has, because I think for like co-op one shots, I'm gonna try to play a lot differently than how I do here and respec differently. Because with what I got right now, it's kind of like it's a Dex, Constitution, Intelligence, Charisma is what I got going for the most part.
Right,
and I'm very well-rounded.
Mason's like a strength wisdom kind of guy.
Yeah, so if anything, what I'll probably end up doing, if he's more just doing like strength and wisdom, I'm gonna try. A part of me almost wants to try to be like as much of a liability and try to make Mason carry it the whole way, just to see if it fucking works. But...
Yeah, well, he said he's relying on you to talk your way out of situations, since he has really fucking bad charisma. He has a charisma of 1.
I was gonna do
He has
bad
minus
charisma.
5.
I was gonna do bad charisma because I have good charisma on my character right now.
Hey,
We'll see.
I'm not saying what you should do, but I think it would be funny if you both have terrible charisma. I think it would be funny.
You know what? If it's gonna be like a mini series / like potentially one shot or mini campaign, whatever it's gonna turn out to be, it would be funny.
So, yeah, we don't know if it's gonna be just like a one-off or if it might turn into like a 2 or 3-parter kind of mini.
You know what? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to make it an underlying like comedy theme, to where I want, and I don't. If Mason watches this and finds out, but I'm
well,
gonna
the
make
session
my
will have
charisma.
already been done by this point.
So my charisma, I'm gonna try to do is make it to where it's bad, but I want to have a debuff, a specific debuff where if I roll like under a certain thing for like charisma, make it to where they like completely take what I'm saying out of context, but like in a humor way of like, oh, like, hey friend, what you doing over there? And this is like I say that, but like I still say the line no matter what. But if I roll like a 6 and the stat check with a 12, instead of I still say, hey friend, what you doing over there? And he goes, what the fuck do you mean, friend? I ain't your buddy, pal. Get ready to fucking fight or something like that. And it just completely backfires. But if I roll the stat check, he goes, oh hey, what's going on, man? Or something like that. But just make it to where anytime I fail a charisma check, it's just they completely misinterpret what I'm saying in like a comedic way. So that way we just get like suckered into stupid shit. It's like, well, what the fuck? I was just trying to help.
Yeah, we could
Something like that. I
we
think,
could see about that.
but just do not let Mason know. Just because it would be so fucking funny.
Maybe we could do like I'll set up like some like blessings and curses,
Yeah, something like that.
and like
Cool,
you both pick one blessing and one curse, and one of the curses could be that, where if you fail a charisma check of any kind, then your words are taken completely out of context.
Or if you don't have to do that for everybody, just make it for me and just make it like a debuff or a curse, and be like, "What did you just say?" Would be the fucking like title of it or something like that. And it's just every single time I fuck around, what did you just say to me? They just get fucking angry about it. Oh, that'd be fucking great. No, but no, yeah. So who knows
give you
if
that,
I'm-
and you
I
also get a
probably-
-2 on all charisma rolls.
That'd be fucking funny.
But to
yeah.
compensate, I'd give you some kind of bonus.
Oh yeah, that'd be fucking great.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think that'll be where we end the after party. Unless
Yeah,
you have
I'm
any
looking
closing
forward-
thought or anything you
No,
just
other
like
than-
to throw
other
out
than
there
that,
about
no.
session 2 or any predictions for session 3 you may have.
I don't have any fucking predictions anymore, dude. If I even have any at all. But no, I'm just looking forward to it. I think that being on how I know how the one shot ended with John and his crew, I'm anticipating that since those are in the same mythos, kind of in the same universe, where what we were doing, what they were doing, like they were doing their own thing the same time we were doing something. I'm anticipating maybe we help them finish what their kind of objective was by the time that I finish their one shot, or maybe it goes a completely different route. But I just know that I'm looking forward to it, and it is going to be a good episode with that crew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Until you meet them, have two, like, you talk to them for like 5 minutes, have like, maybe like a persuasion check, and then they just fuck off and you never see them again.
Until I acquire the debuff, what did you just say to me? And
What
I
did he
asked to help
say?
them with the car, and then they open fire, murdering the whole crew.
They are armed to the teeth.
No, yeah, they have a shit ton of stuff. It's actually disgusting how much stuff
If any
they
of it's
have.
left.
That is true. It's been 15 days. Or I
Uh,
guess that means they would have already made it to the area, because what we did was just a day one.
It's true.
So yeah, but no, yeah, that's what we'd be doing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and they should be too. So
But yeah, I guess that's where we'll close it off.
sounds good to me. I'll catch y'all on the next one then.
with a thank you to everyone watching and an extra special thank you to all of our member supporters sponsoring the series, like Reign of Cows, our Decay supporter,
and our Defiance supporter, Turtle with a Gun 1. Real handsome guy out here, Austin.
I mean, that's one thing that
I
might
would
be
say
true.
so.